Here we go, episode 3 of our How an Average Player Goes 12-0 series. Today we're going to cover defense and offense and how to use those two things to win more games, how to change things up a little bit, and I'm going to show you the things that I do. Before we get into that, again, a massive thank you to you guys. The support you're giving on this series is it's really overwhelming. I can't explain how much I appreciate it. We've had 2 episodes so far and our subs are going up, so I'm going to give you another chance to subscribe. I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. Right, that's our obligatory 2 seconds to subscribe done. So today I'm going to get into the offense and defense, and this is quite a hard video to approach really, because I think the real key to offense and defense is variation. So you'll see a lot of videos where people will say, oh, you know, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll definitely win the game. If you use these settings, you'll definitely win. I don't think it's that simple, and a lot of this stuff comes down to trial and error. See what works for you. I think the big thing on both ends of the floor is practice, and what I really want to show you is the things to practice. Settings are not as important as what you're doing with your players. So we're going to jump into a gameplay today, and what I did last night, so I recorded this gameplay last night. It actually proved the last 2 videos, which was awesome. So you'll see the matchup that we get, but we get matched up against an 87 overall with an 82 overall, which proves that, you know, that 6 sort of shift either way does exist. And we loaded in at 12:30 at night, which is why we got that matchup. So, you know, I don't suggest you do that. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, go and watch episode 1 and episode 2, and it will explain that stuff in detail. But it really proved it. So I'm just going to run you through a gameplay, and I'm going to break down what I did throughout those games and sort of the variations and the different tactics I used at different times. There are some settings I use, but I do change those settings if it's not working. So variation is the key. You'll see what I mean as I go through this video, but variation is the key throughout all of it. Let's get into the game. So following on from yesterday's video, this is the squad I'm using. As you can see, we're quite limited on the players that we have. I'm going to talk a little bit more after the game, actually, about why I chose these players, why I put them in this order. Jason Williams is largely in this team because I'm doing his XP, so that's the main reason. But Hal Greer's got clamps, Zion's got clamps, Larry's got clamps. I'm really comfortable with all of their shots. Verajal's sort of our glitchy player in this team. So let's jump into the game. Like I said, I'll break the team down a little bit more later, but I really want to get into the in-game stuff that I do that helps me win games. So as I said, we loaded into the game late at night, which is always a mistake because you're going to get a bad matchup. And here's a perfect example, right? So we get matched up against an 87 overall. He's got obviously a 10-man lineup that's going to be pretty good. Now our starting 5 is better than his starting 5, but he does have a bench, and that is a high overall. So we're expecting a tough game, a good game. I've actually played this guy before and he beat me once, so I was a little bit nervous loading into this game. But this is the point where you want to start working out your strategy. So he's got some shooters and you know, some rim runners. So he's going to be doing a bit of both. His shooting is predominantly going to be with Steph Curry, right? So we want to make sure we're on Steph from the start. So let's get into the settings. I'm going to slow this down. So for on-ball pressure and off-ball pressure, I go to smother and tight. Now, a lot of people will go to deny on off-ball pressure, but I wouldn't recommend that, because if someone is going to be shooting, and the majority of players in this game do, your players will miss steal attempts and they'll just give up open threes. On-ball screen, I go over. On-ball screen center, I go under. So they're the main changes I make. I do make one other change further down, which is the drive help rules I put to no. So with the on-ball and off-ball, they're the most important settings, right? The top 2 settings, whether you go smother, tight, or deny ball. So I will change these settings if it's necessary. So I will never start on deny ball. I will go to deny ball if I see my opponent's rim running, because it's not going to be such a problem if we miss that steal and we leave an open 3. Now on offensive settings, I just make one change really. So I go to freelance, and then what I'll do is I'll add in the Hawks freelance. What that is a 5-out freelance. From there, you want to go to the adaptive code changing, turn it off because it'll undo all your changes, and then help defense. I'm going to slow it down again here. Now, one of the worst bits of advice I've ever heard was someone telling me to put my help defense to 100 and simultaneously putting the defensive settings to deny ball. Let me explain what that does. That will leave every 3-point shooter on the court wide open to knock down threes against you all day. So in the gameplay, the first thing I do is I go into a 2-3 zone. So I give my opponent the opportunity to show me that they can shoot. If they can shoot and if they're knocking down shots, I'll go into man-to-man. But I've got a lot better at defending the perimeter from a zone, which I'll show you now. Slowing it down again, I'm going to use this first possession to show you my approach to defense. So you can see there, I jumped the passing lane with Zion. I'm straight back to on ball. So you get a boost with on ball defense. It's important that you use it and you don't off ball the entire game. But you'll see here, as he comes inside, we're very aware that the corner's open. That's because I jumped the lane with Zion. So we go back to on ball with Zion, but all we're thinking about is that corner. As soon as he passes it or looks to pass it, we're going to jump over and we're going to contest that shot. So there you go. He takes a shot, but Zion's right in his face and it stops it. So you can see there's a combination of on ball and off ball throughout the entire defensive sort of play. And also we're looking to jump passing lanes, bait people. So people think that they're open, but they're not. That's really the goal. The fast break's self-explanatory, so let's get into the next defensive setting. So you can see here, I go to the in-game settings and I go to no three. So he's already shot a three. We know that that's probably going to be his strategy. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and limit that as much as possible. So you can see here he's getting baited again. He keeps thinking he's open. We're playing on ball and off ball. Again, we hit on the fast break and again, Zion gets points. So the majority of my points I get on the fast break, but I'll break that down. So the next in-game settings I put on are wall up. And what this does is it basically stops your opponent in transition. So he's got some quick players like De'Aaron Fox who could catch me off guard. So this will just stop them in transition rather than waiting for them to get to the other end of the court. So you'll see here, I'm going to keep this slowed down because you can see we're playing on-ball defense here. But I'm very aware Steph Curry's open. So this is a perfect bait. So he's passed it there. Now he's made the decision to shoot. So he's pressed the button. But we're over already and we're contesting it. By the time he actually releases the shot, it's way too late and he takes a bad shot. So you can see again, that constant combination of on-ball defense and off-ball defense, just being really aware when someone's open. Let them be open. As long as you're aware, you'll bait them and then you'll stop them. So the next in-game setting is to go to play physical. And what play physical does is it will make your players basically harry the players on the ball. It will really put them under pressure. They'll be a lot more aggressive, especially with the on-ball defense. So you'll see here, we're covering off a lane here because you can see De'Aaron Fox is open. Player gets open in the corner. We switch to Zion, move him over. Then we switch back because we can see Giannis is now open. You can see we're then back onto on-ball defense, but he gets hit by a screen. We immediately switch to Verajal to stop that. And you can see just constantly he's under pressure. Now you can see the physicality. We know that player's open, so we're going to run out to try and contest the shot. But he's been under so much pressure, he's basically just given the ball up. Every possession we've had so far has been on the fast break. So this is the first time to equip our freelance, and we're going to equip Hawks 2018, which we did in the settings earlier. You only need to do this once in each game. Now you'll see as we move up the floor, I'll hit pass and screen away now. What that does is it just spreads the floor, and you can see the corners are open now. He's looking to paint it, I can see it. So I pop out to Zion and we miss. But I'm confident that shot is open now. So as he runs the floor when he gets a scoring fast break, we're going to basically run that again. You'll see again, I'll hit pass and screen away as soon as I inbound. So we get the ball to Jason Williams, pass and screen away. Look how open Zion is there. So we push inside, pop out, and this time we green it. So you can see that freelance just spreads the floor so well. You're basically going to have 4 shooters open. You can still work your way inside. It's going to pull the center out the paint. But I can see he's basically paint sitting, so we're going to focus on that. On-ball defense here with Zion. As you can see, he's in the corner, but that is contested because we knew it was coming. We basically hedged over with Zion. This is important too, because on the fast break, there wasn't a clear shot on. So we bailed basically, pulled it back out and used the shot clock. You get a foul, Jason Williams goes through the middle. So what you can see is we're constantly mixing it up, right? We're mixing up on-ball defense, we're mixing up off-ball defense. We're adding in settings gradually depending on what my opponent is doing. We're shooting from the 3 and we're running the rim if we need to. It's just constant variety. That's really how you beat an opponent. The final setting that I equip at any point during a game is crash the glass on the in-game settings. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is I keep talking about bad advice. There's a lot of people out there that tell you to run in transition. If you run in transition rather than crash the glass, you're basically going to give up a stupid amount of rebounds. Now, if you think about how difficult a turnover is in this game, rebounds are a really important part of that. You know, you're going to get out on the fast break and you're going to capitalize on those again and again. The majority of points I score are on a fast break. So crash the glass. Please don't run in transition. And anyone who tells you to do that, tell them that they should stop doing that too. So we've covered everything. And it's important to remember at this stage that, like I said, I'm an average player. You know, I've got a really bad matchup here. You know, I'm not amazing at this game. You've seen me miss shots, things like that. But at this point, with all our settings in place, with the continuous variation that we're planning on using, I'm really confident already at this stage in the game that I'm probably going to win this, and that, you know, if we are going on a 12-0 run or we are trying to clear a tier, that a game like this won't stop us. So I'm gonna run into a good old-fashioned montage now. Just keep a close eye on the variation that I'm using on defense and offense and how unpredictable I'm being. That is such an important part of what we do here. So enjoy the montage. I'll catch you straight after.
Let's go now. Let's go now.
So there you have it, job done. It was a relatively easy win in the end. You could see how much trouble he was having on the inside and the outside, as you know, we were kind of defending both individually. You could see that we were putting up threes quite comfortably, you know, getting open for them and taking good shots when they were there. Otherwise, we were getting through the middle quite easily. You know, there was a point where he was paint sitting and then he gave up because we were shooting threes. We went to protect the perimeter, so we came back inside. So variety really is everything. A couple of things that I want to touch on that are sort of regular tactics you see used that I don't use much of. Playbooks is the first one. So I use the Miami Heat 13 playbook. Now that's the playbook that has 45 plays. There's two Heat playbooks, historic ones. One has 22, I think. One has 45. I use the one that has 45, and I equip quick four horns flare. Just try it out in dominations. No point me running you through it. It's basically just a pick and pop. The other thing is you know, pick and rolls, pick and pops, things like that. I don't really use them that much. The only time I'll use them is if it's late in the shot clock and I'm just trying to find a way through. But like I said, you'll have people that will kind of spam the same things again and again. They'll rim run, they'll just run constant pick and rolls, they'll run constant pick and pops, they'll run the same plays over and over again. They're my favourite people to play, and once you figure out what they're doing, it's pretty easy to stop them. So we're at a 27 win run now, 27 wins in a row. That's pretty good. We'll take that as being the average players that we are. I'm going to jump into the squad really quickly just to show you why I selected the team I did. And then that'll be the end of this video, and I'll talk to you about what's coming next. So this is the squad that I used, and as you can see, we didn't have very many options. Like I said, I sold all my players because I don't need them. We're going to go on a shopping spree. But I'm going to tell you why I picked the players I did and, you know, how we kept that to an 82 overall. So Verajal was the sort of overall glitchy player. Now, my centre really, because I defend mainly on the perimeter, there's one thing I need my centre to do, and that's rebound really well. He's got 94 rebound. He's got a few defensive badges as well that help. You know, things like rim protector, defensive leader, intimidator, rebound chaser. So brick wall as well. You know, so he's got good badges. He's just a good option, and he is kind of the lower overall we've used to get this down to an 82. But you can see in that game he played pretty well. Larry Johnson. This Larry Johnson is completely badged out, so you literally cannot add another badge to him. But he's got, again, all badges that you want. I think he's got silver clamps, which I think is a really important badge to have on a power forward. He's got other good badges as well. Quick first step, fast break finisher, things like that. So again, a good player, rebound chaser. I've been using this card non-stop since it came out, so I'm really comfortable with his shot. You know, his 84 3 ball does feel like a 95 to me just because I've been using it so much. But he's good at a lot of different things, this Larry Johnson. Still an amazing card. Zion, you know, we've walked through this card before. He's just incredible. But again, importantly, defensively, he's got the right badges. Offensively, obviously, he's just a beast. There's nothing he can't do. But you can see there, he's got clamps on gold, which is what you want, quick first step. He has got gold range extender, which, yeah, as you saw in that game, we knocked down quite a few shots with him, Dimer as well. So, you know, he's kind of the linchpin of this entire team. Hal Greer, I mean, like, I'm really struggling for options. If I put in Jaylen Brown, I'm going to go up to an 84 overall, which actually probably wouldn't have changed that matchup anyway. But Hal Greer is a really underrated card. I just want to show you his badges. So he's got 8 Hall of Fame badges. That's pretty good. Corner specialist again for threes. He's got Dimer, he's got pickpocket, pick dodger, clamps. Really good badges, like across the board. Quick first step. You can see, like I said, he's got gold clamps again, so he's a good defender. It's what you need, and it's what's really helping us clamp up our opponent. 93 ball. I haven't used it that much, so I wouldn't say I'm comfortable with it, but I know he can knock down a shot if I need him to. 92 on speed as well. Really good 92. Lateral quickness is unbelievable. And this Jason Williams, I just want to touch on quickly because I picked him up just for XP. Considering the price, I don't think I want to sell him back. Why is no one talking about this card? Hoff ankle breaker, Hoff dimer, Hoff quick first step, unpluckable. Then you get into the gold badges, catch and shoot, corner specialist, difficult shots, acrobat, pick dodger, gold clamps, gold heart crusher. I mean contact finisher, needle threader. This card is absolutely incredible. Gold range extender. I mean, he's amazing. Absolutely amazing. You saw in that gameplay how comfortable I was finding him. I got him with the 3-point shoe. I didn't add that. I actually don't know what the 3-point shoe is, but that 92 3 ball, it's impossible to miss. The handles are just ridiculous. Perimeter defense 88, like I said, it's boosted by clamps, and he's got heart crusher and things like that. The speed is boosted on this card, but speed with ball 92. Amazing. So yeah, just that's a really good balanced lineup. You know, it gave us options. It gave us sort of different approaches. We could shoot the ball with the first 4 if we needed to. They could all defend really well. They could all run the rim really well, and Verejao was just there to do what we needed him to do, and combined with those settings like crash the glass, things like that, wall up, he becomes a really powerful player. Again, we're running Mike Malone as the coach. So that's it. That's the entire squad. So we're doing really well again. I hope this is helping you guys. This is, I don't know how many more videos we're going to go. I am going to do a video about mentality, and I talk a lot about bad advice and things like that. I want to cover that stuff up in a bit more detail because there are some people out there that are just giving out horrendous advice, especially for your average player. It's just not good. We are going to drop that video tomorrow that I've been saying for a while that we're going to drop, which is the other budget cards that you can use. Until next time, I think your offense and defense is going to be better. You combine it with the last 2 videos, and I'm absolutely certain you'll win more games. Thanks for watching, guys.